This is Craig, and I'm here with my friend and cameraman Brian. And today is going to be a little introduction to Champfire, which is a product that uses recycled coffee grounds to create a small and light and durable fire start mechanism. Let me try this one here. It's a smaller one, so you'll be able to kind of see it and it won't burn as long. You light them with a wooden match or with a barbecue lighter, whatever you like. What I like to do with these is try to light them on the edge. You can imagine how well this would work to get your charcoal fire going. So what I've done here is I've taken some that are a little bit bigger and packaged them up the way I normally do and then put matches in them. So it's kind of your complete fire starting kit. See if I can light this match from the top of it. Probably can. There we go. One of the things that I've learned to do when I make this up is to try to keep the dry ingredients separate from the wet ones. And when I'm mixing it up, I try to stir up the dry ingredients before I add any wet mix to the batter, I guess you would call it. I need to add the coffee and the ingredients to make up a batch of what I call Champfire. And I usually start with just 1 cup of coffee. You could do more. I'm just going to do 1 today because it shows how it works. And so what I would do at home, I would start out by drying them. And I just put them in a low temperature oven and spread them out on a pan like this and dry them for, I don't know, a couple hours. Adding the binding agent, one of them. So then the next thing I would do is just stir these dry ingredients together before I add anything else, because the next few ingredients are going to be liquid, and this is something that we mixed up a little bit ago that works better in a liquid form than a solid form. I used 3 of these in it per cup of coffee, and so there's my 3. The other binder's already in there, so we'll go ahead and stir this up. So the water, I can add that in a little larger quantity because it takes a fair amount, and just by experience I know how to add this water in there. So the first round there I added about 20 teaspoons of water. This batch seems to be a little bit wetter than what I usually make, which is kind of surprising because I did dry these out when I got them. But one of the things that I look for when I make this, you get this little kind of a reflective coating to it on the surface. This is a piece of non-stick plastic, and I think they call it a musubi maker. Found it in I guess it was a Japanese market here in Portland, and it works really well for what I want. The original thing, of course, is made to make like the sushi rolls that have rice on them, but what it is you got a plunger here on the top, and then it's just kind of an open, almost a rectangle, where you would press it down into the bottom here on a hard surface like this. Set the world on fire. Tune it out and get it down toward the bottom. And then what I do is I like to take my thumbs and just press it down, and press pretty hard at this part because you can see it oozing out the bottom, and that's probably because it's a little wetter than what I normally have. When I go to take it off, what I've found works pretty well is to just kind of wiggle the cylinder part first and then lift it up gently, or just kind of shimmy it off there and then pull this off the top. So there you have it. There's my first little brick here, and you can see these little shapes are about 4 inches long and something like 2 inches wide. So I just cut down this direction like this, and now you can see we're getting closer to having these square shapes like what I have over there. So this will be the last cut that I make, and then we'll start the baking. I cook these at a pretty low temperature, usually around 300 degrees, because that's enough to do what I want. Like I said, this oven is about 310 degrees, and I'll probably cook these for maybe 45 minutes or so.
Set the world on fire. I just want to start